Hello, does playing video games help with learning? By Zachary Marler. Um, uh, my methodology, simple random sampling selection technique was used throughout all of the uh, articles um, that I used as examples for proposal. Random selection of teenagers between the ages of 13 and 19 would be selected. Uh, Everyone will be required 3 to 4 hours of observation um, at their own leisure or anytime they had access to do it. Interviews will be conducted at each of the individual's homes. If not allowed at the houses, a possible location could be selected per the individual, um, and of course, the research would be submitted for review. Uh, the first article that I'll use as a example or persuasion, video game, the article name Video Game Genres and Learning Style Preferences, a Quantitative Study. Um, the video games weren't just for nerds, but anyone could use them, and also just because you played did not make you a nerd. It was quantitative due to the charge, but I personally would have liked more of a face-to-face um, observation in this article. Also, the research was provided very well um, and followed the methodology of the purpose or for the purpose of the study. Determine It was to determine if a correlation exists between video game genres and learning style preferences. Um, the article was mostly, it was just about pretty much putting everything in charts and graphs, so that way uh, anyone that believes in graphs could possibly learn what exactly was going on. And then also the second article that I used was Pakistani students' perception about their learning experience through video games, a qualitative study or a case study. Um, they studied teens, of course, from the ages of 13 and 19 years of age. Also, race didn't play any factor in the choosing of random um, people, as long as they, obviously played video games and were into certain types of games. Their data or credibility would be assessed or provided. Each qualitative, because of the actual face-to-face research was used to gather all of the data. Like I said, it's better to actually get that face-to-face interaction, so that way you know firsthand what type of player, what type of skills are learned, or if they do learn certain stuff from video games that they can take into the real world, like learning in school, uh, and just other things of that nature. It also enhanced their social communication, problem solving, and IL skills. Uh, so, obviously, from this study, they did learn certain skills that they did use in class, and it helped them learn in their own way. But I mean, towards their or from their video games that they played. Also, my third uh, uh, article, I used players' perspectives on the positive impact of video games, a qualitative content analysis of online forum discussions. Um, they looked at how these cultural rhetorics are reflected in users' personal accounts of how games have affected their lives, as posted on well-known gaming forums. Uh, so certain games on certain systems affected people's lives according to the type of game. And also, you can also the type of game that someone plays. You can also kind of get a context of the type of person they are. Each individual doesn't play the exact same games. They all have different learning styles, different tactics, a lot of different things that they could use to learn. The qualitative was from well-known gaming communities. Uh, the messages regarding the effects of games that were gathered. Um, Also, the discussion boards were chosen based on how popular they were, as determined by Alexa.com. So these weren't just people they found in the street. They used um, people from a certain website to choose for the case study, which this focused qualitative content analysis led to an investigation of the ways that gamers discourse about the influence of video games, mimics larger cultural rhetorics. Uh, so, as you can tell from my three articles that I chose, uh, they they use more of a face to face, except for the first one, which I liked. They they got uh, that personal feeling with each other. Also, the sampling confidentiality and credibility. Uh, Purposive sampling was chosen in these studies because they met certain criterias in what the research was, or um, the research they were looking for. Uh, these individuals followed that, what they needed. Um, Everyone was picked for interviews and observations without being identified, which kept their confidentiality hidden. A lot of people don't like being out there. They like being hidden, being closed off. They don't like to be videoed or any of that stuff. So that was a big part in them being kept a secret. Also, the credibility was proven when a lot of different students or individuals proved to have a similar mind and skills for the games being played. They picked like probably a handful of games and found individuals that played those specific games to do the research. That way, they didn't have to interview certain people and find out that there were different games any of them had. Um, they used the same games, so they could find the same data or credibility or anything like that to be used in the playing of the games. Well, got my works cited. My first article from 2021 by J.W. Rotondo. video game genres and learning style preference, a quantitative study. Um, and then also T. Khalid Sayeda, um, uh, Pakistani students' perception about their learning experience through video games, a qualitative case study. And then lastly, by JB, I don't know how to say his name, but players' perspectives on the positive impact of video games, a qualitative content analysis of online forum discussion. Um, so uh, that is my proposal in the works of trying to uh, get research to, or get approved research to follow the proposal of trying to find certain people to play video games and try to find their mindsets and certain skills that they would use in everyday life. Thank you.